What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another YouTube video. As you know, we're coming to the end of May, and it's been a wonderful trading month for me. The week has come to an end, and it's time to make a more structured video on 3 steps that I personally took to make that change from 6 to 8K per month down to 10, which I just hit last month, and now I'm already at 25K. 25K
Wait,
for the month.
How much?
That's good. That's so good. But yeah, beautiful people, let's hop into this video and let me break it down for you. The things that I believe are the most important to make that change from like pushing past those boundaries, those psychological limits. One of those things that helped me make that change from like 6 to 8K was because I had to wait longer, right? I've been covering this over and over again. I had to wait longer for my payouts. And I would be happy with like 2 or 3K from prop firms. So I usually had around 1 or 2 accounts at the time, and I also couldn't copy trade them, so I had to trade them separately. And so I'd set like a kind of like realistic boundary, like 2-3% was super easy for me to make, and I'd be able to do that in like a trade or two. And so once I was able to hit that goal, I'd have to wait because like from my experience, whenever I kept trading, it just wouldn't end up well for me psychologically. And one of the things I realized with time is like instead of trying to add more to my positions or more profit to the account that I already had money on, instead what I like the change that I made was not focusing on adding more profit, but instead holding my winners longer. So it was still just that one trade, but that one trade, instead of making 2-3K, would be making me 8K, 9K, 10K, 12K. You know, and that's what the biggest change for me was. And now as for like the 3 steps that I personally took, the things that I focused on was understanding time frames, time itself, and psychology. So psychology is kind of what I was just getting you guys into, kind of focusing on like what was preventing me from pushing past that boundary. Like I literally like came maybe like 4 or 5 times close to 10K, but I just could not break that boundary. Not from trading. I could not break that boundary. It was like something psychologically had been holding me back. And as I just mentioned, that psychological thing was like not being able to take money off the table. Trying to add more to the profit I already had would just mess up with me, with like my mind, because that profit would take me like at most like a day or 2 to make. And sometimes I wouldn't understand just how grateful I should have been for that. And just like literally take a step back and wait for the payout. But I just didn't understand that, and I tried adding more. I tried trading more. And what I should have done is just gone on a vacation. I should have tossed my phone out, locked it up in a little lockbox, and tossed the key out for the week. And that's one of the mistakes that I think that I had to really work on. And that was just being able to hold my winners longer instead of focusing on adding profit where there was money on the table. One of the like biggest pieces of advice that I received from one of my mentors was take money off the table always, because you can be the best trader. The market is going to have days where it's untradeable, right? And if you're trading during a day like that, you'll lose money. So it's better to only lose the money that you initially started off with than to lose the profit that you made, right? Always take money off the table, pay yourself first, go reward yourself, and then come back with a fresh slate. That's one of the benefits of a live account, because you're essentially able to take money off the table the same day that you make it and then start off the next session with flat amount. Start off the next session not thinking about, losing the money that you made. Right? You can take it off the table, start fresh. Your mind is only focusing on the price action. As for time frames, one of the things like that I get asked every single time. This is like the same thing that I went through when I was starting off, and the same thing that a lot of you guys will go through as you're starting off. And you'll be faced with like a lot of people, YouTubers that are making videos saying, hey, this time frame, this session, this is what you're looking for, and you're basically trapping yourself to the model that somebody else use in some occasions. And one of the things that you guys like kind of flies over your head is that those people that teach those models, myself included, I use them only during specific scenarios when the model presents itself. But what a lot of you guys don't fully grasp is like that model works only when it presents itself. Now, when it does not present itself, what you're supposed to do is be able to adapt. But what you do instead is you try to force trades based off of the criteria of your model. And some days you just shouldn't be doing that. And one of the things that I learned that definitely made that change for me, and I'm trying to do that for like all my students that come in with like this 15-minute time frame is the best time frame idea. That's incorrect. It's very incorrect. Once I made that difference and like started scaling out, we're using weekly time frame, monthly time frame, 4-hour time frame, 30-minute time frame, and if there's a 1 hour, I'll use the 1 hour instead of 30-minute. The thing that's most important is not using 15-minute time frame or like whatever time frame that works with the model. It's using the highest time frame with a relevant inefficiency during that specific day in that specific session. The time has to align with the confluence, not your model. Like you're not coming in and waiting for liquidity sweep, little 5-minute IFEG with an order block. That's not going to get you paid. What's going to get you paid is looking at the market and saying, okay, the highest time frame right now is 1 hour. I'm going to wait 30 more minutes for this 1 hour to close. I'm going to see if it respects this fair value gap. If it does, then I'll scale down to the lower time frame, look for an entry. Right? You look and you find the highest time frame with an inefficiency, and then you use that to get yourself to the relevant daily time frame inefficiency, which would be like a daily fair value gap, daily liquidity, anything like that. But you have to adapt. You have to know in specific scenarios you're gonna switch things up. You're gonna use 1 hour. You're gonna use 4 hours some days. Some days there's not gonna be anything on 4 hour. 1 hour, 30-minute, and you're gonna have to go to the 15-minute if you want to find a trade and you really have conviction that it's going to run that day during that session, right? Even though it might be rebalancing everything else, if you're confident in that, take the risk. There's no reason for you not to take the risk if you have conviction that it's going towards a specific daily target in that day. I've seen it multiple times where it's like low probability day and then all of a sudden it just starts running. And then you like scale down and you could look at it, you could see that it actually was respecting some stuff and there was an opportunity for you to get it. As long as you acknowledge that it's going to be a risky trade, there's no reason for you not to take it. That's my kind of psychology to it is like I don't ever hold myself back from taking trades. I just allow myself to take losses and accept it because it was a low probability day. So here's two paths that you can take. You can avoid trading that day, or you can accept the loss that you're going to take for taking on the risk of trading that day, right? Low probability days are very dangerous, and most of the time the only reason that you would actually be trading it is greed, lack of discipline, addiction to gambling, or just like conviction. Like there's a daily target that it has been missing over and over again, and you just like see that it starts running off, you get the confirmation and you get in. That's what I do a lot of the time if I see it, and especially on gold. Like there's just times where it moves like crazy, and most of those times like it happens during low probability days. I just accept the fact that I can take a loss, and I most likely will, but I'm willing to take that risk, and what I do is I just scale down on whatever my normal position is, and I take the trade so that I'm not thinking about it, you know? One of the worst things is like you wanted to take a trade and then you don't take it, and then it runs to your TP. You don't take it out of fear or whatever other reason that you had, and it runs to your TP. And what are you going to do? You're going to go text your friend that also trades, and you're going to be like, I missed this move, buddy. I should have made 10K on this trade. Yeah, a lot of people do that. They do that. They're like, I could have taken this trade if only I didn't close right here and held it. Like, buddy, it's fine. It's okay. There's going to be another trade. Right? And the way to avoid that is to lower your risk and take the trade anyways. Just accept the loss. Sometimes it's better to take a little loss and learn your lesson than to miss out on your trade, regret it, and be like, oh, next low probability day with no news, I'm going to go trade it. That's a terrible idea. But yeah, man, I'm still thinking about the fact that this month I made 25K as a 19-year-old. That's insane. 25K. I didn't even know, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I just got a 12K payout this week, and last week it was like 8K, and I was like, oh, I'm just sitting at around 20K. And then I open up my bank account, and I see 25K, and I was just like, damn, son. And then I remember that I made another like 5K. There was a 3K payout early into the month, and then another 1.4K. And I made videos on all those, and it was just like, it's crazy to think about how like once it clicks, it just like compounds and compounds. Like think about it. In the start of this month, 1.4K payout. Then it was a 3K payout. The next week after that, no trades. The week after that, 8K payout. And now 12K in a single day. It's just compounding and compounding and compounding because my psychology is getting better. My contentment with like the amount of profit that I have, and it's like expanding. I'm able to aim for more without regretting it. I'm able to even put more money on the line because the more money I make, the more money I'll be willing to risk. The more confident I'll be getting in myself, in my system, because I see it winning over and over again. And I've always been confident in my system. And starting off, like something I was just talking to somebody about in DMs was like, somebody asked me, did you always have a deep down like instinctual feeling that you were going to succeed? And one of my mentors, the person that got me into trading, like we have like this super long Telegram chat of just like accountability contracts and all this stuff. But never once in that time was I saying, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I want to keep doing this. It was more of a, what do I learn next? How do I do this? I was always convicted that this was the thing that I was going to be doing. This was something that I could succeed in, and I was just going to do it until I succeeded in it. There was no need for me to take a break from trading and be like, oh, I'm taking a break because I'm losing money. I hate when people do that because you're putting... Maybe some people do need it. Maybe you need it because you're just gambling and you need a break to really reset your mind, to really get thinking about it. But for me, I just knew that I had to do more. I had to do more to become somebody that was able to be profitable. And for me, that more was focusing on all these other habits that I had. Going to the gym, my diet, becoming somebody that was intellectual, like not even related to trading, but just reading books because I would understand more about like life. I would understand more about psychology, understand more about what you should pursue, like reading the Bible, my relationship with God. All these things helped me curate myself into somebody that was able to succeed in this field and succeed in anything, honestly. Like trading is only my first avenue, and I will continue to expand to different areas because I know that I can succeed because I'm somebody that has trained my mind into seeing that I'm able to do anything difficult. Like reading books is not fun. You can go watch YouTube videos. Trading in general is not fun. Like you lose all the time and that gets to your head. Working out is not fun. It's painful, right? But you train yourself to become somebody that enjoys that pain, that enjoys that because at the end of the day, you come back and you feel fulfillment. You feel fulfillment with what you did. And that's what I'm after. I'm after becoming the best version of myself. That's what allowed me to make 25K this month. Because I kept over time compounding the little habits that I was doing to become a better version of myself. To do more to succeed in this field. Everything I can. There's people that are like messaging me and they're like people that I know. And then they ask me for help and everything, and I see that like you're not really doing everything you can. If you really wanted to, you'd take a look at what I'm actually doing. You'd see that I'm not stopping just at trading. I'm not stopping at just learning ICT. I'm pursuing myself in every field so that I have discipline, that I have a good psychology. All this comes from not just my education in trading. It comes from everything else that I'm doing. Like working out and all these other things. Eating well. And like all these other things that may not be so enjoyable but give me a sense of fulfillment. All these things layer into the person that I became in order to be able to do this consistently. And that's why I'm out here on social media as well. I know social media is in the same way. A lot of people think it's luck, but it's not. Luck compounds infinitely when you post videos every day, right? That's not luck. You keep posting videos until one blows up. You keep posting videos until you hit the audience that you were looking for. That's not luck. That takes work. You come out every single day. You keep uploading until it hits, until you realize what you're doing, what you're missing. Next thing, time. You do not want to be trading during in the middle of kill zones. Like, pull up a ICT kill zones indicator that shows you all the session times, and take a look at what the market does in between New York session and London session, in between London session, or it's London session and New York session, in between New York session and Asia session, and you'll see everything that you need to know. You'll never again trade in between a session, because sometimes you can trade a little bit earlier before the session starts, but then again, like I said, it's all just psychology. You have to accept that you're taking on a risk because the session did not start yet, and a lot of the times there's manipulation when the session starts and it just moves in the complete opposite direction. So if you get in early, and even though you're right, it'll take you out, and if you blow your account before the session even starts, you're not going to catch the real move that runs up. So sometimes, remember, if you're taking the risk, accept that you're likely going to lose. I'm not telling you not to take the risk, because I love doing that. I love doing that anyways. I just accept it, scale down on my risk, and I take the loss sometimes. I learn my lesson from that. And I'd much rather do that than to think about, oh, I could have taken this trade. That's the worst thing you could do, is to sit there and go take a screenshot of the trade that you missed and send it to somebody and say, I could have made 10K on this trade. You don't deserve that 10K if that's what you're doing, because you don't understand yet that there's going to be another setup, and you didn't really miss anything. The only thing that you missed was further developing yourself in order to have confidence in yourself, in the system that you studied, in order to be able to execute on that trade. That's what's missing for you. That's what you're missing out on. It's becoming somebody that can actually succeed in this field, and not somebody that's going to cry about a single trade that they missed. Yeah, and for time, you have to trade during the kill zones. There's a lot of different characteristics, and one of the things that people overlook when they study ICT is session characteristics. You can learn a model and everything, but there's still session characteristics that are very important to learn, like the London Judas swing in any session. There's like optimal trade entry during New York early hour. Then there's like market open. There's the new daily candle open on prior to Asia session. All these things are specific to those session characteristics. On like pairs like NASDAQ, where it doesn't move usually during Asia session, you can reference Asia session highs and lows as confluence. So there's a lot of different things that you can learn. But this video's gone on for long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed that little video that I made in the beginning with my roommate. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys genuinely learn and reflect on like the things that you're doing and what you need to do in order to succeed in this field. You don't stop at learning a strategy. You never stop. You continue to improve yourself in every area possible. You pursue your faith. You pursue your discipline, your fitness. You pursue your diet. You pursue your education aside from trading. You pursue anything that's specific to you in your life, right? Drop the bad habits. Drop the things that are holding you back from enjoying your life with your friends, with your family. If there's something about you like that's affecting somebody around you, like if you smoke and that really gets to like your partner, or that gets to one of your friends that you were close with, and you're like, oh, he's messed up for like dropping me after I started smoking. Stop smoking. Well, you don't need that. What you need to do is lock in and make some money, and that's not going to help you with anything. It honestly just like eats away at you, and that's something that I've experienced personally, that a lot of people around me, it's like they go through some stuff and they resort to things that aren't really going to get them anywhere, and I hate to see it. And if that's something that you're going through, there's other ways of coping with whatever you're going through. You don't have to resort to drugs. You don't have to resort to things that are only going to put you in a worse place. Lock in, boys. Make some bread. Catch you guys in the next video.